Part 14. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 131. Chapter 131 A Safe Journey. Qin and Ming were worried. It had been almost an hour, but the conductor didn't show up. The two of them were also chattering in their hearts. Could it be that something went wrong? Zhang Yu didn't see the conductor appear, but she felt a little relieved. She just said, "There is no such coincidence in the world. So lucky that everyone you meet is an acquaintance." Next to them are two people who came out of the village and went to the city to visit their families. Looking at the large and small packages, the ground was piled with packages. Zhang Yu's feet were squeezed directly against the wall of the train compartment, so crowded that people could not move. If it weren't for Qin Ming beside him who was protecting his wife so hard, she would have been pressed against the wall. "Brothers, don't push so hard, there's someone with a big belly here, and you also saw a pregnant woman." Qin Ming put one hand on the table, with his back facing the two people, who were almost squeezing in on him. Moreover, these two were obviously strong countrymen, who worked hard and had strong bodies. If he hadn't been holding on hard here, he would have made a space for his wife. Maybe he and his wife could be squeezed against the wall. "Oh, brother, it's not us who are squeezing you. Take a look at the carriage aisle. It's full of people. There's nothing we can do about this person squeezing us. We also know that the sister-in-law is pregnant, but really there is nothing we can do. If others squeeze us, we can only do this. We simply cannot hold on. I heard that the next stop is the big station and more people come up. I've also heard that many people can't buy seat tickets at all, and all they buy are standing tickets. I heard that the next two stations are all big stations. When the time comes, there will be a swarm of people coming, and I don't know how many people will be needed. Can you get it? Be careful to protect the sister-in-law. I think her belly is big enough. She should be giving birth soon. Don't do anything wrong, we are trying our best to hold on here, but if we can't hold on, there is really nothing we can do." The two strong men behind him were reasonable. Qin Ming and Zhang Yu looked back. Sure enough, the corridor was crowded with people, and they were all packed with people. Qin Ming was sweating. Zhang Yu smiled bitterly and took out a handkerchief to wipe her man's sweat. Give way, step aside a little. Let me come over, let me come over." As the sound came, a way was indeed opened in the corridor. Feng Qiaqiang was sweating profusely and squeezed in front of Qin Ming and Zhang Yu. When he saw the appearance of Qin Ming and Zhang Yu, he also smiled bitterly. If he wants to occupy the two beds in the conductor's box, he must say hello to the conductor. Otherwise, this matter may be big or small. Let's talk it through and accept this matter. He hurried over, but he didn't expect that after only one stop, the car was already crowded like this. But I feel a little secretly proud. The more urgent it is, the more these two people can receive their own favors. Qin Ming, Zhang Yu is leaving, follow me quickly and pick up your things. Qin Ming was a little confused. When he looked up, he recognized that the conductor was the conductor he had just greeted. He saw that the conductor was sweating profusely and waving to him. I felt happy, it seemed like there was a way. Hurriedly, he took out the luggage rack and the things under the seats, and carefully helped his wife out. "Oh my God, brother, if you don't sit here anymore, then we two brothers will take your seat. Wherever you want to sit. These seats are all sold by ticket sellers. These two seats will be sold out in a moment. Don't occupy seats here, otherwise people who will get on the bus will come over and cause trouble." Feng Qiaqiang roared. The conductor at this time is very authoritative. Feng Qiaqiang cleared the way along the way, and people moved out of the way. They arrived at the conductor's compartment smoothly. Feng Qiaqiang opened the door of a private room, pointed to the empty space inside, and asked them to put their luggage in. "This is my box. There are two empty beds inside. You two will sleep on the lower bunk. I usually don't come back to the box. I will only come back when I am eating and resting, so you can feel at ease. No one will disturb you. The train conductor and I have already agreed that you are relatives of ours, so if anyone asks about it later, just say that you are my distant eldest brother and you are visiting relatives in the city. Remember, don't let anything slip. Feng Qiaqiang settled the two of them. Qin Ming was a little embarrassed. There was too much space here and the conditions were really good. His wife can rest peacefully on that bed. Comrade, I don't even know your name. I'm really sorry this is really troubling you. Why are you saying those kind words? Since you have such a good relationship with my brother-in-law, you will treat me as a friend from now on. If you have any questions, just come to me. My name is Feng Qiaqiang. When you come back from the provincial capital, call me in advance and I will have someone buy a ticket for you and deliver it to your home. Get on the train and sit directly on the sleeper berth. When you come back, you will probably have your child in your arms, so you can't squeeze in. If you have any questions about the train from now on, just come to me. Feng Qiaqiang settled them down and went back to work quickly. Qin Ming and Zhang Yu sat here, silent. Okay, wife, please rest quickly. This Feng Qiaqiang is Section Chief Wei's brother-in-law. I just found out just now. Regardless of whether it is a coincidence or not, we have to accept the favor anyway. When we come back from the provincial capital, when we are here, buying something for others can be regarded as our sincerity. There will be comings and goings in the future, and it will be good for us to have someone on this train after all. Qin Ming knew what Zhang Yu was worried about. At dinner time, Feng Qiaqiang actually brought them 2 lunch boxes. Simple rice and a stew. There are a lot of big meat slices in this stew. Qin Ming felt really sorry for the enthusiasm of the two of them. Zhang Yu watched coldly for a long time, figuring in her mind that Section Chief Wei was probably tipping off the news to his brother-in-law. To put it bluntly, people don't care about the couple's face, but they care about Director Wang's face. It seems that the relationship between them and Director Wang should be maintained in the future. No matter what, Director Wang took great care of the couple for the sake of his sister. This is all a good relationship forged by her own sister. Who would have known that her sister has such abilities? The couple slept soundly all night and arrived in the provincial capital early the next morning. Feng Qiaqiang still had to clean and pack the train, so he couldn't send them out of the station. However, leave your phone number with them and tell them to call him a few days in advance before they rush back. He will contact his friends and help them buy train tickets and send them there. Qin Ming and Zhang Yu thanked them repeatedly and finally left the station. The two of them took the number 11 bus and went directly to Zhang Yu's house. Zhang Yu was excited and Qin Ming was uneasy. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 132. Chapter 132 Accident. Fan Qiuying is scolding Zhang Lei. Look at you. These clothes are so dirty. You are just like a beggar when you drive. You can't even change your work clothes twice a day. And let me warn you, your dad has been driving for so many years. But he is an advanced and civilized driver of the team. Don't embarrass your father, otherwise, be careful I punish you. Zhang Lei had a sad face. His sister was not at home, and even his grandma and grandpa couldn't protect him. His mother gives him trouble all day long. This is because my own mother misses her sister, so she takes out her anger on herself. Oh, my dear mother, I know. Ever since I took my father's place, I have been very cautious in the team, for fear that I would do something wrong and lose my father's face. What do you want me to do? I almost keep my tail between my legs. Mom, I forgot to tell you about Xioxio's letter. Tell me that their production team is now preparing to start household production quotas, and they have been divided into small groups. This topic change is very blunt, but it works. Sure enough, when Fan Xiuying heard this, she immediately changed her attention. Your sister, this girl, has only sent 2 letters to my family since she joined the production team. One is to report that she is safe, and the other is to report on the current situation, and the rest is nothing. Alas, I have always been thinking about her. Is it cold there? Is the quilt made for her thick enough? I heard that the winter there is very cold. After heavy snow falls, the mountains will be closed. I'm really afraid she won't be able to bear it. Fan Xiuying becomes worried when she talks about her little daughter. Mom. A voice sounded. Fan Xiuying was stunned. This voice was unfamiliar yet familiar. As soon as he looked up, he saw his eldest daughter Zhangyu standing at the door of his yard with a strange man with a big belly, staring at himself with tears in his eyes. Fan Xiuying opened her mouth in surprise. She didn't know what reaction she should give. She was so happy to see her daughter. But my daughter has a big belly. This. Any mother who sees the scene will get angry. This made her feel anxious and angry. Zhang Yu, is that you? Zhang Lei was frightened when he saw this. Is this his eldest sister? She does look like his eldest sister. The problem is that his eldest sister never wrote to them to tell them about their marriage. Why did you bring a strange man in with a big belly? He was afraid that his mother would explode immediately, so he hurried in to call for reinforcements. His grandma and grandpa were still in the house. What if his mother gets angry here and his eldest sister is still pregnant? Mom, I am Zhang Yu. Zhang Yu looked at her mother, whom she hadn't seen for several years. She had a lot more gray hair on her temples and more wrinkles at the corners of her eyes. The sour tears in my heart flowed down. Zhang Yu, tell me clearly what's going on with this belly, how can it be well, are you coming back with a big belly? Fan Xiuying was furious. In this era, if a woman has a style problem, she will be sentenced. Zhang Yu hesitated. Stretching out the head is also a knife, and retracting the head is also a knife. Anyway, you have to take this knife. Hand out his hand to pull Qin Ming over. Mom, I'm married, this is my husband Qin Ming. Qin Ming bowed respectfully to his mother-in-law. Mom, I am Qin Ming. Wait, please explain to me clearly, why do you have an extra husband? When did you get married? Why did you just get married casually without telling your family? And don't call me mom, I haven't even figured it out yet what is going on, I suddenly have a son-in-law. Fan Xiuying almost lost her breath. Mom, I was wrong. I didn't tell you and my dad that I was married. I was afraid that you wouldn't agree with me getting married on the farm. Qin Ming is the son of the production team leader. He almost died because he saved me at that time. Zhang Yu was ready to kneel down. It was the two of them who made a mistake, and she naturally had to admit her mistake to her mother. Qin Ming held her hand tightly, shook his head, and stopped her from kneeling down. He plopped down and knelt down in front of Fan Xiuying. Mom, all the mistakes are my fault. It has nothing to do with Zhang Yu. If you want to beat or punish me, come at me. I will never complain. Zhang Yu has a big belly. Just for the sake of her belly. You forgive her. Fan Xiuying was extremely angry. Are you trying to force her to accept this marriage? Just about to lose my temper. Xiuying, what do you mean by letting your child kneel at the door? It's nice to see so many neighbors coming and going. Hurry and welcome them into the house first. If you have anything to say, we can talk about it inside. Are you your biological mother? Your daughter is pregnant and you don't tell her to go into the house to rest for a while. I didn't even think about how long it would take them to take the train all the way back. Why are you so cruel? Mrs. Fan opened her mouth, opened the curtain, and said to Zhang Yu and Qin Ming at the entrance of the courtyard. Ignore your mother and come in quickly with your son-in-law. It's so cold outside. It's going to snow today. Shitu, hurry up and get something warm to eat for your sister. This time it's been such a hard journey, why don't you eat something warm quickly? Once the old lady spoke, there was nothing Fan Jiuying could do. But she also knew in her heart that this was my mother who gave her a step up, otherwise she would really cause trouble here. It seems to be of some benefit to them both. She has no face for her daughter either. Watching Qin Ming stand up, carefully helping Zhang Yu walk in, and then looking at her daughter's big belly. Fan Jiuying is so terrible. She never thought about letting her daughter marry in the countryside. Unexpectedly, this girl did this without saying anything, and her belly was so big that she was about to give birth. What worried her even more was how could this child be so hopeless? He had to take the train all the way back without worrying about the bumpy road and something might happen to the child. Isn't this fatal? Seeing Zhang Lei enter the kitchen, she sighed and went straight into the kitchen to cook. What kind of food can Zhang Lei cook? The most I can do is make a soup. My daughter has gone all this way, how can I just eat a soup? Let's roll out the noodles and eat them. At home, I still have tomato sauce that I make myself in the summer. Then I will make 2 eggs to make tomato fried noodles. Originally, I was going to make a bowl of noodles. Thinking about it again, although she didn't recognize the son-in-law in her heart, she looked tall and thick, and he must have a big appetite. While making the dough, I scooped out an extra bowl of noodles. She owed it to these children. Zhang Yu and Qin Ming ate a large bowl of hot tomato and egg noodles. Qin Ming looked at his mother-in-law who was silent and knew that her mother-in-law was not over yet. My daughter got married, and no one in the family knew about it. He wouldn't be happy if it were put on him. Mom, I don't blame Zhang Yu for this. I was about to die of illness at that time, and my parents forced Zhang Yu to marry me. Zhang Yu was kind-hearted and had to marry me for my own good. But Mom, I swear that I will be kind to Zhang Yu and the child in this life. Don't be angry with Zhang Yu because of this. Zhang Yu has cried many times thinking about what you think. It's my fault. If you are angry, feel free to vent it at me, but don't be angry with Zhang Yu. Qin Ming really didn't want his mother-in-law to be silent like this, even though she didn't see Zhang Yu, she didn't say anything. But there was worry in his eyes. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 133. Chapter 133 Accept. Okay, stop talking, go to Zhang Lei's room and sleep, you're tired from the journey, Zhang Yu, rest here, and I'll find bedding for you. What can Fan Jiuying do? This is her daughter. Even though Fan Jiuying's attitude has not softened, she understands it in her heart. It will be a matter of time before you accept the son-in-law. Zhang Lei saw his mother's attitude and knew that his mother had actually softened up now. Don't look at her expressionless face, which looked like a fierce spirit. But if his mother really becomes powerful, this is not the attitude. Hurrying to hold Qin Ming, his brother-in-law. Let's go, brother-in-law, go to my room to sleep, you must be exhausted after riding the train all night. Qin Ming followed Zhang Lei and took a look at his wife. Jianjiao Nanu is why. That means telling him that it's okay. My mother doesn't understand it yet. If her brother can see it, she can also see it. From the window, she saw her son-in-law entering her son's house and closing the door. Fan Jiuying turned her face and opened fire on her daughter. Tell me honestly what happened, how you got married so well, and your belly is so big. You are about to give birth to a child, and you just came back to tell your parents that you are married, and you still put me and your father, do you take it seriously? Fan Jiuying was sad that her daughter didn't tell them that such a big thing had happened. A girl only gets married once in her life. Whether her husband's family is good or not, and whether the man is good or not, are related to the woman's whole life. A woman's marriage is equivalent to being reborn. If you don't marry well, your life will be ruined. The problem is that the eldest daughter got married without consulting them. It's not that they look down on rural people, it's that there is a huge difference between rural household registration and urban household registration in this era. Especially after a child is born, he or she will be registered with his or her parents. In other words, whether your daughter is a boy or a girl, she will have a rural household registration in the future. It's not that I look down on rural people, but the rural household registration is much different from the urban household registration in terms of future schooling, college entrance exams, including job arrangements in all aspects. Let's just take the school entrance examination. With the same scores, they only accept students with urban household registration. Your child with a rural registered permanent residence can only achieve this by being 30 or 40 points ahead of others. The daughter did not expect this level, but it is impossible for her to not think of it. People's lives are either simple or just a couple. In addition to themselves, they also have their own descendants. When one day you encounter these difficulties, it will be too late to cry at that time. If your daughter marries a man from the countryside, she will never be able to leave the countryside again in her life. Do you want your daughter to stay on that production team for the rest of her life? Like a rural woman, she takes care of her children, goes to and from work every day, and lives like this for the rest of her life. Jongyu hugged her mother's arm and said, "Mom, please listen to me and tell me what happened. Don't be angry because of this." Xiao Xiao told her that there was absolutely nothing wrong with acting like a spoiled child with his mother. Fan Qiuying had a cold face, but in the end she couldn't bear to push her daughter's arm away. After all, the child is pregnant. 2 hours later, Fan Qiuying listened to what her daughter said and understood in her heart that the matter had reached this conclusion. The result is this. Although she was dissatisfied with her son-in-law, he saved her daughter's life after all. Under such circumstances, it would really be unjustifiable for her daughter to ignore her son-in-law. The old man in their family has always had his own principles in life. They have always educated their children according to basic moral standards and cannot always say one thing and do another. You, my child, have a hard life. As you are, you will stay in that rural area for the rest of your life. Mom just feels sorry for you. Fan Qiuying cried while talking. Mom, don't cry. I haven't told you yet. In fact, Qinming and I have good things going on, and this matter is related to my sister. Fan Qiuying was startled and wiped away her tears. Why are you still involved with your sister? By the way, your sister went to Kenking Farm and sent 2 letters home. Has she visited you? This little heartless little girl, if she hadn't visited you, see how I beat her when I come back. Oh, my mother, you hurt your sister so much, that is, you are really willing to beat her? Besides, you are willing to beat her, and I don't want to beat her. Not only did he look after me, but he also gave me and Qinming a formal job in the county. Qinming went to the power plant in the county, and I worked as a teacher in the county primary school. Before returning home, the 2 of us had already gone to report. After I gave birth to the baby at our house and finished confinement, I could go back to work. And he is still a formal worker. Do you think this is a good thing? You are not there to be sad. Your daughter is going to farm in the village, facing the lowest and turning her back to the sky for the rest of her life. Now you can rest assured, no matter what, I am still a teacher, I also have an urban household registration, and I eat national food. Is this the case? It makes you feel better? As soon as these words came out, Fan Qiuying was frightened. What's going on? Does this little girl of hers have hands and eyes that can reach the sky? How can he be able to do this and find formal jobs for his daughter and son-in-law? It is difficult for them to find formal factory jobs in a city, let alone a county town. There are many people but few places. Who is not struggling to become a worker who can serve an iron rice bowl? Isn't it a fantasy that my own daughter can help my son-in-law and eldest daughter accomplish such a thing? Tell me honestly what's going on and what your sister has done. I'm so frightened by your sister now. This guy has so many ideas now. She comes out as soon as she wants to. Once out, and didn't discuss it with others at all. Zhang Yu told her mother what Zhang Xiaoxiao had done. Fan Jiuying finally put her heart into her stomach. It seems that this matter is not out of the ordinary. It can only be said that she is very lucky. Sigh, she just said that this little girl of his family is really lucky. Look, she just went to the buying station to buy a shabby dictionary, and she actually got back a few gold bars. I have made so much savings for my family. I went to my sister's place and actually helped her and her brother-in-law get a job. Fan Jiuying couldn't help but smile. This little girl is really capable. This is a lucky star. When I think of my little girl, I can't help but think of the Fang family. The Fang family's parents are blind. If you don't treat such a good daughter well, you actually want to take her to replace your son and go to the countryside. When she thought of this incident, Fan Jiuying felt angry and thought that she must be kind to her little girl. Whether she is biological or not, this is her daughter. Mr. Fan and the old lady were very happy when they heard about this. This little granddaughter is indeed very powerful. It sounds like she is capable. They all know that Zhang Xiaoxiao has a godfather and godmother, and that godfather and godmother are doctors at a famous hospital in the city. But later they moved. Thinking about it this way, this godfather and godmother are really good to this little granddaughter. Really taught her some skills, which are really big skills. The matter between Zhang Yu and Qin Ming was immediately accepted by Fan Jiuying. After all, both the son-in-law and the daughter can go to work in the county town, which is an urban household registration. It will be good for both the children and themselves in the future. Besides, if the power plant job and the primary school teacher don't deny it, then you are too arrogant. When Zhang Lishi came back in the evening, he saw the extra son-in-law and daughter at home. Hearing about this matter again, Zhang Lishi always took his wife's wishes as the criterion. Now that his wife was smiling, he didn't say anything. She quickly accepted her son-in-law. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 134. Chapter 134 Clarification. Zhang Xiaoxiao took the shuttle bus back to the farm. She had thought before getting in the car that she could take 2 bags of food with her when she went back. She said it was given to her by her sister. This can also help subsidize food. This is a legitimate excuse. I stuffed 2 bags into it before getting in the car. Kenking Farm is different from my sister's place. I have many acquaintances and enemies, so I can save myself from being distracted. To put it bluntly, she was cheating on both sides, telling her sister that she brought her own food from her own farm. Facing Jia Shu and the others, she said that it was her sister who brought the food to her. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt that he had become a liar now, and he would tell lies at every turn. Hey, it's really hard to be a human being. She had prepared the food before getting on the bus, otherwise who knows how many people in the car would have gone to Kenking Farm. To be careful, she could only be a little tired. But fortunately, no one can take a lot of things on this kind of long-distance shuttle bus in the past 2 years. Finally arriving at the place, Zhang Xiaoxiao got out of the car and just unloaded his small cart. A pair of big hands reached over and helped her unload the grain bags from the car and load them into the car. Song Moding. Brother Song, how did you know that I was coming back today? I didn't write a letter or send a telegram. You are a god, you actually knew that I was coming back today. Zhang Xiaoxiao was happy. She was still worried just now. The distance from the shuttle bus to the farm at their Kenking farm was not very close. In addition, from the farm to the mountains, the journey was quite bearable. She had to push more than 200 kilograms of grain up there, and her head hurt just thinking about it. It's an uphill road, you're going to die on your own. How else, when the time comes, install it in the space first and then get to the forest farm soon. Unexpectedly, she turned around and saw Song Moding. Having such a strong man there would save her a lot of trouble. There is joy in my eyes and in my heart. That joy overflows and cannot be hidden. Song Moding smiled, showing his snow-white teeth, his dark eyes shining with joy. I can count and count, I can calculate with just one finger that you will arrive today. Zhang Xiaoxiao muttered. Just talk nonsense. But Song Moding didn't say what she could do. Two people loaded the grain, one pulling the cart in front and the other pushing it behind. Zhang Xiaoxiao pushed from behind, basically without any effort. Going to your sister's place is not something you should be happy about. Why do I see that you are dark and thin, and you have dark circles under your eyes? You look very tired. Song Moding turned around and took a look at Zhang Xiaoxiao. Zhang Xiaoxiao touched his eyes. He didn't have time to look in the mirror recently. How could he have time to take care of himself? It's really busy. Oh, don't say it. Of course I am happy to see my sister, but my sister is actually married and is about to have a baby. She hid such a big thing from our family. I don't know at all. I don't know. Be mentally prepared. If you go and think about it, it would be strange if you don't scare me. Plus, her in-laws are not easy to worry about. You tell me, I will be troubled all day long. Zhang Xiaoxiao complained, not realizing at all that this was the privacy of their family. Is it okay to leave it to outsiders like this? Song Moding smiled and Zhang Xiaoxiao really regarded him as one of his own. Okay, whether it's good or not, just thank your eldest sister for bringing you so much food. Your brother-in-law is also a good person. Food is very tight these days, especially on their farm. I heard that the harvest was bad last year. Your brother-in-law can bring you so much food, what a great honor and favor it must be. It's not just to please my sister-in-law. Besides, I can tell by looking at you that your eldest sister shouldn't be far behind. You can't be so blind. Your brother-in-law is your brother-in-law, and his family is his family. As long as your brother-in-law is nice to your sister, it will be fine. After all, your brother-in-law is the one who will spend your whole life with your sister. Zhang Xiaoxiao pouted, you men, you think things are too simple. In your minds, a family's life is the life of two couples, but in fact, this is not the case at all. It is two families colliding. One day you marry a daughter-in-law, what's the use of just being nice to your daughter-in-law? If your parents treat your daughter-in-law badly and pick fights every day, do you think your daughter-in-law can live a comfortable life? Besides, it's your parents and your mother. You can't be cruel to your wife. If your parents don't want it, then they won't have any contact with her from now on. Do you think it's possible? So no matter how nice you are to your wife, she still has to endure the humiliation and live a life of injustice. Zhang Xiaoxiao had not experienced this in his previous life. She is not unaware of how her parents-in-law treated her in her previous life. Song Moding smiled and said, that's the man you're talking about. If it were me, I wouldn't do it. I will definitely protect my wife. If my parents don't like my wife, I will take her outside by myself, but, as a grown man, what kind of man am I if I can't support my wife? If my parents have any requests, just come to me. I can be angry with myself and endure the humiliation myself, but I cannot let my wife be angry with me. If I marry a wife and forget my mother, I cannot do such a thing. But if I marry a wife and cannot protect her, then I am not a man. Besides, I'm a stepmother and won't meddle in such nosy matters. People would rather stay away from me. Zhang Xiaoxiao was a little envious, Not to mention, brother Song, you really have this potential and you are capable. You will definitely be able to do it in the future. I am optimistic about you. Whoever becomes your wife in the future will be happy. Song Moding glanced at Zhang Xiaoxiao and said, since you said I am a good man, have you considered marrying me? As soon as these words came out, the atmosphere suddenly became strange, and Zhang Xiaoxiao was silent for a long time. Song Moding must be joking with himself when he said this. Brother Song, you can't make such a joke. You are so handsome, and no matter what job you do, you are number one. You can't marry anyone. You haven't seen that there are so many female educated youths in our educated youth community. He is hanging in front of your eyes every day, wishing you could wave your hand and pounce on him immediately. I am of average appearance at most, so how could I catch brother Song's eyes? Zhang Xiaoxiao has not thought about personal issues yet. Anyway, she has no determination to start a family and start a business here in this life. She is still young, only 18 years old, and has a lot of time to make a career. Why do you need to get married and have children first? Zhang Xiaoxiao, I'm not joking, I'm telling you the truth. Please think about it. Since you said that I have so many advantages, in my heart I also think you are a very good person. I like it very much. You, consider being my partner. I can't guarantee anything else, but I can at least guarantee that you will never be embarrassed by the issue of mother-in-law and daughter-in-law at home. Zhang Xiaoxiao's face turned red. What's going on here? He hasn't even decided on his horoscope yet. Why is it all about getting married in the future? Brother Song, are you serious? I really haven't thought about this matter. It doesn't matter if you haven't considered it. You can consider it now. Anyway, I won't force you. I just think that we are suitable for each other. I like you quite a lot. Besides, I don't think you hate me. Song Moding made it clear that in the past few days since Zhang Xiaoxiao left, he thought this girl had taken root in his heart. After not seeing each other for a few days, I suddenly felt empty in my heart. He wants to keep this person by his side. Song Moding is a person who does things with purpose. Since he feels this way and likes this girl, why not boldly say it clearly? He is not a person who has passed through this village without this shop. Zhang Xiaoxiao is the woman he is destined to win. This is how I made my words clear. Zhang Xiaoxiao was very frightened. In my previous life, I got married hastily on a blind date, without thinking about whether it was appropriate or inappropriate. Now I suddenly encountered Song Moding's confession. Zhang Xiaoxiao was silent. Also panicked. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 135. Chapter 135. What do you have? Zhang Xiaoxiao returned to the farm. Everyone knew that Zhang Xiaoxiao was back and came out to welcome her. Especially when Jia Shu saw her, she picked her up directly. Zhang Xiaoxiao, you're finally back. You don't know that I've been sleeping alone in this room these days. I feel so uncomfortable. I'm really not used to being without one person. The weather forecast for the past 2 days has predicted that it will snow soon. I'm really afraid that you won't be able to come back when the snow closes the mountain. Look left and right. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled and said, you, people who don't know, what do you think the relationship between the two of us is? No, I'm back, look at how much food I brought back. The two girls went into the house, and the men moved the grain into the kitchen. They all ate it together. After all, everyone works and eats together. Everyone eats whatever someone sends them. Of course, if you keep some private goods for yourself, that doesn't matter. As long as it's harmless, no one will care about it. Generally speaking, the dozen or so of them really get along with each other. Gu Dali shouted loudly over there. Xiao Xiao, you are back, but you don't know that our eyes have turned red looking forward to you these past 2 days. The food cooked by our comrade Jiashu is really embarrassing. But we all miss your cooking, look how hungry we are. Jiashu opened the curtain. Gu Dali, shut up, I just burned the pot once and let you remember that till now, the food I cooked is so unpalatable and you have been eating it for so many days, why didn't you starve to death? Gu Dali shrank his neck, no, no. That's not what I meant. The food you cooked is also delicious. Isn't it just a little bit worse than Xiaoxio's food? I was wrong. Isn't it okay that I was wrong? Hyeguo smiled so happily, look at how popular we are here when Xiao Xiao comes back. You were all listless in the past 2 days, but now, when Xiao Xiao comes back, you are all energetic. Zhang Xiao Xiao couldn't stop laughing. Suddenly I have so many friends in this life, and life suddenly becomes exciting. I didn't expect that I was so important, seeing that everyone is so kind to me. I will make dumplings for everyone at noon tomorrow. As soon as these words came out, everyone cheered. Jiashu's smile. You look at them one by one, as if I was mistreating them. Xiao Xiao, how did you know we got a wild boar? There is plenty of stuffing in these dumplings. Gu Dali shouted. Zhang Xiao Xiao was confused. Shaked his head. I don't know, I also told you to go down to the service center to buy some pork tomorrow. What kind of pork are you buying? You haven't been on the farm these days. Don't you know that these boys are following Brother Song and running all over the mountains and fields with great joy? They would almost kill all the prey on this mountain. If it weren't for the deep mountains, there were tigers, leopards, wolves, and so on, but they didn't dare to go in. No, we just got a wild boar from the mountain yesterday. Although it is not big, it still contains more than 100 kilograms of meat. I'm just waiting for you to come back and prepare delicious food for us. Gu Dali was so proud. You are still bragging, who was chased by the wild boar across half the mountain yesterday. If Songmoding hadn't helped you a lot, I'm afraid you could still brag about more than 100 kilograms of meat now. Jiashu couldn't help but attack Gu Dali, who kept his mouth shut all day long. Gu Dali's face turned red when he was told that he couldn't help it. Who in the entire forest farm didn't know about his heroic deeds yesterday? Hitting someone is not a slap in the face. Sister Jia, are you sensible? Look at your mouth. I used to think you were gentle, but now I know that your mouth is really a sharp mouth. Look at it. One knife at a time, stabbing me to pieces. Gu Dali is so angry. Okay, Gu Dali, why are you still trying so hard to argue with a girl? Are you still not a man? Hyeguo spoke. Zhang Xiaoxiao glanced at Jiashu, only to find that Jiashu had a different feeling for Hyeguo in her eyes. Hey, it seems something is going on. I have been away for a few days, but I didn't expect that my sister Jia would actually be moved. Okay, everyone, stop talking, I will make dumplings for everyone when I come back today, now go back quickly. Zhang Xiaoxiao comes to everyone's rescue. Jiashu and Zhang Xiaoxiao entered the house. Tell me the truth, I've been away for the past 2 days, is there anything going on with you? As soon as Jiashu entered the house, she was tortured by Zhang Xiaoxiao to extract a confession. His face couldn't help but turn red. What's going on? You've been thinking nonsense all day long. Okay, I haven't talked about you yet. Do you have anything to do with Songmoding? You don't know that you haven't come back now. Since you left, starting from the 3rd day, Songmoding went to the bus stop to pick you up every day. It's a long way to go back and forth on this cold day. It comes rain or shine. All of us are guessing, is there something going on with you two that you haven't let us know about? Zhang Xiaoxiao was a little surprised. Although she and Songmoding agreed to consider this issue on the way. Has been wondering how Songmoding knew he was back today? But he never thought about Songmoding, who was waiting there every day. But just thinking about how much people thought about her, I couldn't help but feel moved. The husband she married out of desperation in her previous life was a dull and talkative man. Moreover, he is old-fashioned, never has a smile, and does not know how to take care of others. She never knows what other people's kindness to her should look like, a pattern? She couldn't tell. How can a person who has never received anything know what he should receive from others? But just hearing such a detail made me feel moved. Who wouldn't be touched by the feeling of being so cared for by someone? She is a girl after all. Even if she lived for more than 80 years in her previous life, she only lived for more than 80 years. Her love life is pitifully lacking. Especially since I became a widow in my 40s and my husband died early. She was left alone as a woman, raising her children alone. The suffering, pain, and wind and rain I have endured have all been borne by me alone. I never felt that anyone would share the burden for her. Will help her take on everything. What's the matter? You're overthinking it. Okay, stop talking. I brought you a gift. Let's not talk about this for now. Let's go chop the meat and stuff it to make dumplings. Otherwise, we'll have to finish dinner later. Night snack. Zhang Xiaoxiao immediately changed the subject. She didn't want to be here with Jiashu because of this entanglement. My face is slightly red, and my heart feels warm and soft. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 136. Chapter 136 Eating Dumplings. 5 pounds of fat and thin pork belly. Zhang Xiaoxiao peeled the meat, prepared to cut the meat into pieces, then continue to decompose it, and finally chop the stuffing. Jiashu is chopping cabbage there. They were 13 people eating dumplings. Especially apart from the 2 of them, the rest are all young men. The food intake is larger than the other. I estimate that one person needs at least 25 dumplings, otherwise he will never be able to fill his stomach. So chopping stuffing is a hard work. I'll chop the stuffing, you'd better go ahead and chop the onions. Before Zhang Xiaoxiao could react, a pair of big hands had already taken the kitchen knife from her hand, and he naturally occupied the position in front of the chopping board. Can you chop stuffing? Zhang Xiaoxiao was full of doubts, mainly because Song Moding's face was so deceptive. For such a good-looking man with such a good temperament, he didn't look like a man doing housework at home. She had speculated before that Song Moding's family background was probably not low. Song Moding has a strong bookish aura about him, and is elegant and noble. This is not something that ordinary families can cultivate, it is an innate temperament. Don't worry, I also work at home. My grandma makes dumplings, and I chop the fillings every time, and I can say that I have a lot of experience. Song Moding smiled. What a look in this girl's eyes, as if she disliked herself so much. I really didn't expect that, I thought you were the spoiled one at home. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at Song Moding's big, well-jointed hands, where he began to cut the meat skillfully. I finally let go. It seems that I am indeed very experienced, and I really didn't lie to myself. She was not worried about anything else but that Song Mo Tingwan would have his hands on her. Isn't that a crime worthy of death? Originally, she had good intentions and let everyone have a good meal. I'm here, let me help you make the noodles. I have strong hands, so the noodles I make will be strong, and I will make delicious dumplings in a while. Hyeguo rushes to work. After taking the basin, I went over there to scoop out the flour. They didn't have much white flour, so they ate a little and a little less. But a meal of dumplings is not a waste if you don't eat white flour dumplings. They have meat, but if they don't use white flour, the meat will be in vain. I'll help you light the fire. We were helping to roll out the dough for a while, and I was the best at rolling out the dough. Everyone rushed to help. This meal of dumplings was made in a short time, mainly because there were more people and more strength. 2 rollers and 6 dumpling makers. As you can imagine, making these dumplings is not an easy task. Wait until the dumplings come out of the steaming hot pot. At this time, everyone no longer eats in the kitchen and has moved into the living room. Mainly the kitchen, it's too cold here. The big house they live in has already been equipped with a fire pit, so the room is much warmer than the stove. The dining table was carried directly into the room, and the stools were also moved over. On the table were several large plates of hot dumplings, as well as minced garlic and vinegar. Song Moding didn't see Zhang Xiaoxiao. Zhang Xiaoxiao, why is he missing? These dumplings are ready. If you don't serve them quickly, they will become lumpy after a while. Jia Shu smiled and said. She said fry some chili oil, otherwise the dumplings will be tasteless. Come over soon, everyone, please sit down first. Song Moding took a look at the seats. Several grown men had already sat down without any politeness. Hyeguo sat next to Jia Shu. The other seat next to Jia Shu was empty. It was obviously reserved for Zhang Xiaoxiao and the 2 of them, who usually seemed to be alone. Definitely have to sit together. And Gu Dali happened to sit next to the empty seat. His face turned dark. Gu Dali, why are you just leaning in front of me when you have nothing to do? Walked over and patted Gu Dali on the shoulder. This person is holding his own lunchbox and putting minced garlic and vinegar into the lunchbox. He was tapped on the shoulder and looked back quickly. What's wrong, brother Song? Sit down quickly, you're not active in eating, and there's something wrong with your brain. You go and sit over there. Song Moding had no expression on his face, and Gu Dali was stunned when he said this. Why should you ask him to move? He just sat down and hasn't even taken a bite of the dumpling in his mouth. Brother Song, I can just sit here over there, that's the seat for you. He feels wronged. I just like sitting here, you go over there quickly. Song Moding didn't say anything, picked him up and sat down by himself. That grievance of Gu Dali. My own brother Song always turns into a robber and even steals people's seats. Yeji Unshen next to him smiled and winked at him, patting the seat next to him. Hurry up, come and sit in front of me, why are there so many things? Gu Dali sat down aggrievedly. He provoked whomever, why did everyone look at him like this? Zhang Xiaoxiao picked up the curtain and came in. Everyone smelled the fragrance. Okay, the chili oil is ready. This is my own secret chili oil. I guarantee that you will remember it twice after eating it. It is a unique secret recipe. Zhang Xiaoxiao walked quickly to the table carrying a bowl of chili oil. The chili oil has just come out of the pot, and the bowl of hot oil is still hot. She was afraid that she couldn't hold on, so she threw the bowl away. Song Moding hurriedly took it. Why don't you know how to get a rag? What should you do if you burn your hands like this? Zhang Xiaoxiao said with a smile. Oh, tell me, my mind was just thinking about letting everyone try my chili oil, and I completely forgot about it. Okay, everyone, sit down quickly. Let's eat. Zhang Xiaoxiao touched his ears. They were really hot. Sit on the empty seat next to Jia Shu. It was only later that I realized that Song Moding was actually sitting next to him. Looking at the packed seats around me again, I felt a little strange. Song Moding would not approach him on weekdays. Is it because of what he said today that Song Moding wants to pursue himself? It's delicious. Xiao Xiao, your craftsmanship is good. Look at the dumplings you made. I have never tasted such delicious dumplings, stuffed with pork, green onions, and cabbage. Suddenly I feel like this is heaven on earth. Oh, I have never thought that our country's policies would be so good. This policy of ensuring household income is so good. If I were still eating in the cafeteria, I would never be able to eat dumplings stuffed with pork, green onions, and cabbage. Gu Dali couldn't stop talking excitedly. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled sheepishly. Making dumplings was indeed his specialty. In his previous life, he had worked as a cook at a dumpling restaurant in Kyoto. Making dumplings is my specialty. If you can't even prepare the dumpling fillings well, how can you make dumplings for other people's chefs? No matter what, I have learned other people's secret recipes. I can be considered as taking advantage of others. It's not as good as you said. Eat it quickly. I just learned how to make dumplings from my parents. You just haven't eaten dumplings for a long time, and suddenly they taste delicious. If you eat them every day, if I ask you to eat dumplings like this, I'm afraid you won't find them so delicious. Don't be humble, Xiao Xiao. It's not what Gu Dali said. We all think this dumpling is delicious, really. Even if you just let us eat dumplings like this every day, we are happy. We can be regarded as living a new life of socialism. Life. There are dumplings to eat every day. I'm afraid that the landlords in the past didn't dare to eat like this, right? Hyeguo's words resonated with everyone and they immediately burst into laughter. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 137. Chapter 137 Escape. Everyone finished the meal in a lively manner. Hyeguo and the others took the initiative to do the dishwashing work. It was too cold for the girls to continue working in the kitchen. Jiashu and Zhang Xiaoxiao returned to the house. Zhang Xiaoxiao took Jiashu and took out something from his bag. This was before she returned to the farm, and she bought a lot of things in the county town over there. There is one piece for Jiashu. Here, this is for you. Jiashu blushed. Clam oil. The so-called clam oil is also called glycerin. Xiao Xiao, you don't earn much money yourself. We don't have wages this winter. You still spend money indiscriminately. My sister, you are so difficult to take care of. If you don't look at your hands, what kind of cracks they have become in the winter. Do you still want these hands? Go wash your hands quickly and apply them. Roast this oil on the fire. I heard that before going to bed, apply oil on your hands and wrap them in a towel. Your hands will be much better the next day. If you insist on using them for more than 10 days, your hands will probably recover. Look at the cracks on his hands, they are bleeding. Do these still look like a pair of girls' hands? Zhang Xiaoxiao has long been thinking about Jiashu. Jiashu herself did all kinds of work at home. It's the same when it comes to the production team. They work hard without complaining and are willing to do any dirty work. But their Kenking farm, the temperature here in winter is absolutely unforgettable. Hands that were often soaked in cold water were cracked by the cold when they came out. Because she already had experience, she was prepared before coming, so naturally her hands were fine. But Jiashu is different. These hands look scary now. Jiashu blushed and hid her hands. But I can't spend your money. Your money is earned through hard work. My aunt. Okay, 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 if you don't want to spend my money, then spend your own money. Give me the money for the clam oil, 25 cents. Zhang Xiaoxiao stretched out his hand to ask for money. A fierce look. Jiashu was anxious and angry. I can't help you anyway, you are always the right one. She naturally knew that by following Zhang Xiaoxiao, she actually took advantage of him a lot. Even educated youths like them, didn't anyone take advantage of Zhang Xiaoxiao? Zhang Xiaoxiao brought 2 bags of food. The white flour just now is the live flour in the grain that Miss Zhang sent. If I really care about Zhang Xiaoxiao and give the money to Zhang Xiaoxiao, will I still be considered a friend in the future? Friends can't be so careless between friends, but if she doesn't give the money, she really feels bad. Okay, okay, at worst, when you go home to visit relatives in the future, you can also bring me some specialties from your place. Isn't this just a one-on-one visit? Do the two of us still have to be so polite? I will treat you if you are a friend and a good sister, Is it possible that you treat me like an outsider? Zhang Xiaoxiao forced the oil in his hand into Jiashu's hand. Then he took out soap, washing powder, and shampoo from the bag. The things I brought with me have long been used up, and the service agencies here are sometimes not available. There is a shortage of supplies, so you can't buy them right away if you want to. She happened to be passing by the county town, so when she saw these things, she naturally bought some. At least these things can be used until the end of the new year. By then the roads will be open during Spring Festival, and it will be time to go to the county town to buy them again. Zhang Xiaoxiao knew very well that after the snow fell on the mountain where their forest farm was located, they could basically stay indoors. You want to go out, unless you want to fall into a snow puddle. When Zhang Xiaoxiao took out the red scarf from his bag, he paused. She will forget about it? Zhang Xiaoxiao couldn't help but touch it. This wool scarf was really warm and soft to the touch. Brought it back by myself along the way. Let's wash it later and return it to Song Moding when it's dry tomorrow. Zhang Xiaoxiao avoided Song Moding for the remaining few days. Mainly because she was a little embarrassed, because she hadn't figured out yet whether she should respond to Song Moding's confession. Although Song Moding is indeed a good person, a good man. However, she really never thought about getting married again in her life. Now suddenly someone expressed his affection for her, this affection. She is not disgusted, but if she really decides to stay with one person for the rest of her life. She felt a little panicked and scared. Her husband in her previous life had lived with her for 10 years. In the past 10 years, there has been no tenderness between husband and wife. It seems that there are only obligations and responsibilities. The kind of relationship between husband and wife without warmth made her feel that there was really nothing to look forward to in marriage. She doesn't want to waste her time on such trivial love life. In her last life, she had to marry in the end, but that doesn't mean she can't choose in this life. In this life, I am not ready to live with another person at all. Song Moding obviously felt Zhang Xiaoxiao's avoidance. I couldn't help but feel sad. At this moment, he was deeply shocked and doubted his own charm. In the past, when he was in school and in their compound, I don't know how many girls were willing to hang around him, even to the educated youth farm. Although Song Moding is not a particularly arrogant person, he knows that he has something outstanding that can attract others. He has never used these things, but he never thought that one day these things would not work for a girl at all. People even looked down upon him. But who is Song Moding? He is the kind of person who becomes more courageous the more he suffers setbacks. If he only felt a little fond of Zhang Xiaoxiao in the past, now, this resistant attitude has aroused his ambition. Perhaps men are like this. In their hearts, the less they can get, the better they are. No matter what, life must go on. According to the weather forecast, they were about to receive the first snow here, so everyone discussed it. Get ready for everyone to go into the mountains and cut down trees together. The more firewood in the yard, the better. Plus, Zhang Xiaoxiao suggested it to everyone during the meeting. Taking advantage of their winter, they have already vacated 2 houses and want to grow more ginseng seedlings. How could she know that as soon as she left, laymen like Song Moding planted their ginseng seedlings in the ground without even thinking about the weather? This is not a complete waste. Now we can only remediate the problem again. When spring comes, the ginseng seedlings can be planted in the ground. After all, their piece of forest land is just left for nothing. If they can get some harvest, it will be good after all. Zhang Xiaoxiao has already told everyone that he probably knows how to raise seedlings, so he needs to make the house warmer and form a similar greenhouse to give the seedlings a suitable chance to grow. At this moment, everyone naturally wants to contribute quickly to their harvest next year. After all, it will be difficult to enter the mountains after it snows. Take advantage of now to go into the mountains to cut wood, pick up some branches and come back, and do whatever you can. These stalks are enough for them to grow ginseng seedlings ambitiously. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 138. Chapter 138, Going Up the Mountain. Early in the morning, 13 people dressed in thick clothes went directly into the mountain. In the past, people may not have been willing to let female educated youths go into the mountains, mainly because they were worried about their safety. But since Song Moding took these male educated youths to hunt in the mountains, these people have become more and more courageous. Even wild boars can be beaten back, so what do they have to worry about? It feels like there is strength in numbers. So today I took 2 female educated youths into the mountains. The sky is overcast. The north wind is blowing, making people feel that this kind of weather is a precursor to the coming of heavy snow. Zhang Xiaoxiao followed Jia Shu, and the 2 of them walked into the forest, 1 foot deep and 1 foot shallow. It was the first time for the 2 of them to come to the woods. Of course I have been to the woodland. But woodland and dense forest are 2 completely different things. In most cases, forest land is not in densely wooded areas. Although there is little sunshine all year round and it is relatively cold, the forest land is at least open. But the woods are completely different. They are dense forests on the mountains, covered with vegetation, and because of the cold climate here, there are some places where snow remains all year round. Even though the first heavy snowfall has not yet fallen here, the depth of snow in some places in the forest is enough to make people afraid. Zhang Xiaoxiao could feel the coldness on his fingers even while wearing gloves. Rub it and smile at Jia Shu, who looks over with concern. It's okay, I haven't started working for a while, and the blood in my body is not flowing, so I feel cold after a while. I will actually start chopping trees and wood, and I guess I won't feel so cold. Because the forest farm has regulations, there is a certain area where they can cut down trees, and they can only cut down specific trees within this scope. Otherwise, it will damage future tree growth in the forest farm. The forest farm has strict rules and regulations, but sometimes people still violate them. But as long as it's not a big mistake, generally speaking, forest farms don't care too much. However, these educated youths still manage to abide by the rules. When we came within this range, we discovered that this side is equivalent to the south. This place is located in the south of the mountain. Because of the abundant sunshine, trees naturally grow very quickly. So the trees they can cut down are also within this range. As long as they plant trees after cutting them down, it will not damage the environment much. Especially in this place, it should have experienced some lightning strikes. The lightning strikes knocked down many trees, and these trees have long since dried up. When they came, the first thing they did was to cut down the trees that had fallen to the ground and dried up. After all, it has been dried out in the sun. If you burn it back, it will be very useful as fuel. Several people immediately gathered around these trees and began to work together. The trees had fallen to the ground, so they were easy to cut down. Of course, remove the small branches first, and then cut the large and thick trunks into several sections. The boys would carry them back, or drag them with ropes to the yard, where they would be processed into small pieces of firewood. Zhang Xiaoxiao and Jia Shu found a small tree, and the 2 of them were only strong enough to do this. Zhang Xiaoxiao was holding an axe at one end of the tree, trying to remove the thin branches. I haven't done this job for many years, but when I saw this scene, I felt really excited. It's not that she is masochistic, it's because she has done this job for many years. After all, he is experienced. With one stroke of the axe, she chopped off the small branches. Jia Shu was a little worried about her. She knew that Zhang Xiaoxiao had been pampered and raised at home, so she could do such a heavy job. She was suspicious, mainly because she was afraid that Zhang Xiaoxiao would hurt herself with the axe. Unexpectedly, when he turned around, Zhang Xiaoxiao was actually doing it very neatly, and when he saw the person picking up the axe and falling down, the branches were separated easily. He couldn't help but shake his head and sigh. Some people are just gifted and can do anything at a glance, unlike me, who is stupid enough. At this time, he concentrated on using the axe to deal with the branches on his side. When two men cut the small tree into several sections and tied them with ropes, it became a large bundle. Jiashu looked at it and said, "I will carry these firewood back, and you can help them tidy up the thin branches here." Jiashu was afraid that Zhang Xiaoxiao would not be able to do heavy work. Zhang Xiaoxiao did not refuse Jiashu's kindness. After all, her body was not the one from her previous life. "Having gone through so many years of suffering in my previous life, I am certainly not afraid of any heavy work. But I have been pampered all my life. No matter what kind of work is done with this body, especially heavy work, it will be very tiring. Although I try hard to change my life in my previous life, there are some things that cannot be changed." The past few months of farm life were not enough for her to fully adapt to this physical condition. At this moment, she saw Song Hyeguo and Gudali cutting down a big tree. "Immediately come to help." Hyeguo glanced at Zhang Xiaoxiao, and out of the corner of his eye, he saw Jiashu, who was carrying firewood and heading down the mountain. "Xiaoxiao, you and Dolly are here to chop wood. I will send the bundle of firewood back and I will be back soon." Speaking, he picked up the firewood pile that was as high as two people and strode down. Zhang Xiaoxiao pursed her lips and smiled. She had always thought that Hyeguo and her eldest brother were definitely the best friends in their previous lives. But it seems that he has a patriotic orientation, which is absolutely correct. What people like is women. Myself, my mind is twisted. In his last life, Hyeguo and his eldest brother were assigned a farm, while he and Jiashu were assigned a farm. Perhaps due to the flapping of his wings after he came back, things changed a lot. The eldest brother did not come to the farm, but Hyeguo was assigned to himself and Jiashu. In other words, Hyeguo and Jiashu had no intersection in the previous life, but they had feelings for each other in this life. Both of them came from a poor family background. They are all people who are loved and loved by no one. In fact, there is nothing wrong with two people keeping warm together. Hyeguo's personality and Jiashu's can complement each other. Hyeguo's personality is cheerful and honest, while Jiashu's personality is quiet and calm. If two people are together, they are actually a good couple. In the last life, the two of them lived a lonely life. If two people can be together and find a new path in this life, maybe both of them can find happiness. She believes that Hyeguo can bring happiness to Jiashu. Besides, I didn't match up two people. They were in free love and it had nothing to do with her. This should be called a marriage made in heaven at most, and the only thing I want to do is to allow the two of them to return to the city smoothly in the future and get everything they deserve. Zhang Xiaoxiao was working hard to chop down this tree. This tree was different from the one he just chopped down. The small tree should be completely dry, and the cutting was very smooth, but this tree seemed to be half dry. When the axe went down, the axe head was embedded in the trunk, and the trunk was not cut down. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 139. Chapter 139 Injured. Careful. A very sudden voice came. Zhang Xiaoxiao was pulling out the axe with his head lowered when he suddenly felt a gust of wind coming. One person threw her to the ground with force and rolled her several times. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt a loud noise next to him, and the huge waves caused a lot of snow and branches to fly over. A strong figure turned sideways and held her in his arms. Her head rested on the strong chest, and her whole body was blocked solidly. Hovered in the faint scent of soap. "How are you? Are you injured? I don't know how long it has been." The person on her body finally raised his head and looked at her anxiously. It is Song Moding. Wearing a green fleece jacket, Song Moding was sweating profusely and his face was pale. I'm fine, how are you? Zhang Xiaoxiao couldn't help but feel warm in his heart. There is someone who wants to protect you and defend you so unconditionally. This feeling has never happened before. No. I had it in my previous life, but it was not a man, but my own parents. The feeling given to her by her parents is completely different from the feeling given to her by a stranger. Because her parents have a deep love for her and the accumulation of feelings. But this stranger had only known her for a few months, but he was willing to protect her with his own life for her. If she was indifferent even like this, Zhang Xiaoxiao doubted whether he had become hard-hearted. I'm okay too. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt something strange. Song Moding's expression made him feel that it was absolutely impossible to be okay, if nothing was going to happen. It shouldn't be like this, with the frown on his face and the sweat dripping down his forehead. Hush, Song Moding, away. Zhang Xiaoxiao sat up. At this moment, she could see clearly immediately without taking a breath. A big tree fell down just now, and the direction of the fall was the direction where she and Gudali were cutting down the tree. Moreover, Gudali's side was not easily affected because it was on the other side of the tree, and the biggest impact was on the tree. This place is where Zhang Xiaoxiao cut down the tree just now. The place where Zhang Xiaoxiao cut down the tree just now was completely smashed by the big tree. If she had not left, her whole body would have been hit by the big tree by now. She hurriedly turned around to see Song Moding, only to see Song Moding lying motionless on the ground. Song Moding, how are you? Song Moding raised his face with difficulty and showed a pale smile. It's okay, I might have been hit on the back. Zhang Xiaoxiao hurriedly checked. This time, I really took a breath of air. Where was Song Moding's back simply hit? It should have been that the broken branches of the big tree flew out, like a sharp dagger, piercing Song Moding's shoulder blade deeply. Thanks to this, it's the back. If it was the chest, it might have penetrated the heart by now. This is no small injury. At this time, snowflakes were already flying in the sky, and the snowflakes came very quickly. At first there were just a few snowflakes, and then they became larger and larger, becoming so densely packed that the world around you became completely white. Zhang Xiaoxiao helped Song Moding up. Come here to help, we must take him down the mountain to the hospital quickly, otherwise, the injury will be serious. Gudali and Yeji Unsheng were stunned for a long time. At this moment, Zhang Xiaoxiao woke up with a word. He was indeed so seriously injured and had to be rushed to the hospital. A few boys came over. But Song Moding tilted his neck and fainted. Zhang Xiao's heart sank and he hurriedly felt his pulse with his hand. Faint means fainting, but it is not shock. It should be that the branch pierced his shoulder blade, causing excessive blood loss. Song Moding has fainted now. You think of a way to quickly put up a stretcher and carry him down. This will speed up the process. Otherwise, he will not be able to walk at all now. Conducted by Zhang Xiaoxiao. At this time, many people were in a panic. The situation was indeed a bit chaotic, and everyone suddenly lost their backbone. After all, everyone originally regarded Song Moding as their backbone, but now Song Moding fainted. People don't know who to listen to or what to do. Zhang Xiaoxiao stepped up to take charge of the overall situation and immediately made everyone feel that he knew what to do. Several male educated youths hurried over and the long branches they cut down to make a simple stretcher. But Song Moding couldn't lie down. Unless the branches were pulled out from behind, lying down would only make his injuries more serious. He put the person lying on the stretcher like that, and several male educated youths carried the stretcher down the mountain. Zhang Xiaoxiao stood beside the stretcher. A few people walked quickly down the mountain. Unfortunately, the mountain road was difficult to walk after all, everyone was alone when going up the mountain. One person walked up alone. Now we have to carry a stretcher and a wounded person down, and the speed cannot be fast. In addition, going up the mountain is uphill and going down the mountain is downhill. Carrying a stretcher down the mountain is not that easy. Moreover, the weather has changed, and the cold wind is bringing snowflakes all over the sky. Several people couldn't even open their eyes, making it increasingly difficult to see the road. Several male-educated youths were anxious and took turns replacing each other, so that their clothes were soaked with sweat. I couldn't walk a few miles. Zhang Xiaoxiao kept checking Song Moding's situation along the way, and the situation became more and more serious. Song Moding's breathing seemed to have become weaker. Although the injury on his back was not bleeding much, that was because the temperature had dropped and was cold. It does not mean that the real wound will be delayed. In this state, Song Moding is lying here unconscious and his whole body is in a state of hypothermia. It is easy to add injury to injury. Zhang Xiaoxiao was cruel and took off the military coat he was wearing. This dress was prepared for her by her mother when she came here, for fear that she would get cold here. He put his military coat over Song Moding's body to avoid the wound on the back of his shoulder. But the shoulders and neck are still cold if they are exposed to the outside. He took off the red scarf again. This red scarf was originally intended to be returned to Song Moding. Who would have known that when she went out today, Song Moding saw her holding the red scarf and tied it around her neck. Now it comes in handy, use a scarf to help him cover the area around the wound and his neck. We have to speed up, otherwise his condition will be serious. Zhang Xiaoxiao was also anxious, but he knew that it was useless to be anxious. These mountain roads were even more difficult to walk, especially after the heavy snow started to fall. This snow is not like previous years where it just started to snow lightly and then got heavier and heavier. This snow came very quickly, and with the cold wind, the wind was at least level 4 or 5. Plus, the mountains made the wind even more powerful. It looks like the snow is very heavy. Remember, this snow seems to be a once-in-a-100-year heavy snowfall, and it will fall continuously for 3 or 4 days. Zhang Xiaoxiao was even more anxious. The snow here will probably make it difficult to walk on the entire mountain road in 3 or 4 hours. If they don't get down the mountain quickly now, let alone go to the hospital, it may be difficult for them to survive. They also knew Gudali. Several people took turns carrying the stretcher and walked down the mountain with difficulty. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 140. Chapter 140 Health Room. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt that she was almost numb from the cold. If someone saw her current expression, they would probably think that she had become a corpse. Her face was as pale as a ghost, and her movements were frozen due to the cold. The snow under my feet is getting deeper and deeper, and with each step, snow pours into the shoes on my feet. The shoes have long since become wet and cold. Every step felt like I had lead weights on my feet. She, who had done nothing, already felt it was difficult to move, let alone the 4 people carrying the stretcher. In the current state, the 4 of them were so tired that their eyes were dull. Zhang Xiaoxiao touched Song Moding. The situation is getting serious. 2 hours later, they finally saw the light from the opposite side, and someone with a flashlight ran into them head-on. Zhang Xiaoxiao, is that you? Jia Shu's voice almost made Zhang Xiaoxiao cry. It's us, come quickly. Zhang Xiaoxiao tried to calm himself down. It's a pity that I'm shaking all over. Everyone's upper and lower teeth were chattering. Jia Shu and Hieguo have already rushed up with the forest farm workers. The 2 of them went back to put down the firewood, only to find that it had begun to snow heavily, and the snow was too heavy, coupled with the wind. When the 2 of them walked out of the door, they could feel that they could not stand upright. They were even more worried about the people on the mountain. At this time, the director of the forestry farm also realized that something was wrong. He hurried over to give instructions to the educated youths, but found that there were only 2 educated youths in the group, and the remaining educated youths actually went up the mountain. The annoyance in his heart, why did he forget to warn these children? The snow here is different from that in other places. That means to come as soon as you say it will come, and to go down as soon as you say it will come. Afraid that something might happen to these educated youths, we immediately called the workers at the forest farm. We all organized ourselves, wore thick clothes, took equipment, and started going up the mountain to look for people. As a result, they walked a little way up from the foot of the mountain they had just walked, and saw someone coming from the other side. The forest farm workers were more experienced than them, and as soon as they saw how well they could carry the stretcher, they knew someone was injured and immediately took it. The remaining people helped a few educated youths and ran directly down the mountain. After descending the mountain, everyone finally breathed a sigh of relief. After all, the wind and snow on the mountain were too heavy. Even now, the snow on the road down the mountain has already reached my calves. Carry the person back to the forest farm. Zhang Xiaoxiao hurriedly explained the situation to the director of the forest farm, hoping that the director could send a tractor to take the person to the county hospital as soon as possible. Song Moding's current condition is too serious. This kind of trauma requires pulling out the branches. Surgery and sutures are required. He even had to check if he had any other internal injuries. The field manager looked troubled. Zhang's hiking, it's not that I won't send it. Let me tell you, if you see this situation now, you will definitely help. But there is a problem. You can see the heavy snow on the road now. The tractor can't get out at all. We are here once it starts snowing heavily, basically even in isolation, you see the snow on the roads now. It has already exceeded the calf height. Let alone the tractor, it would be difficult for even a person to get out. It's not that they don't want to save Song Moding, it's because it's impossible to sacrifice other people's lives to save Song Moding. At this time, as the director of a forest farm, he naturally has to protect the interests of the majority of people. Song Moding needs to be sent out now, and at least 4 people have to take turns to carry him out. If something happens to these 4 people on the way, together with Song Moding, there will be 5 people. These are 5 lives. How could he sacrifice others just to save one person? Zhang Xiaoxiao's heart skipped a beat. She really didn't expect it would snow so quickly. The forest farm director cannot be blamed for this incident at all. The survival rule here is to save one person and at least ensure the safety of others. It is not Song Moding's fate but his fate. But Song Moding's breathing was weak. If you continue to wait like this, you will really be waiting for death. Director, where is the doctor from the clinic at our forest farm? Let him come and take a look. Zhang Xiaoxiao can only treat a dead horse as a living horse doctor. The field director smiled bitterly, our clinic is just a decoration and lacks medical treatment. Lao Lu from the clinic went to the foot of the mountain to see a doctor because of bronchitis. It looks like he will never come back after the snow. It was really a coincidence. Zhang Xiaoxiao was speechless. Someone would die from this. You must have the key to the health room, right? There is something in the health room, such as medical equipment, medicines, etc. Zhang Xiaoxiao could only think of a way. He had no way to go to the hospital and had to deal with it. No one can lie down here. The director was very embarrassed. There are medicines, but they contain some painkillers and cold medicine. There are no other medicines. I don't understand the medical equipment you mentioned, but I know there are some in the cabinet. Otherwise, I'll take you there to have a look. Zhang Xiaoxiao had no choice but to follow the forest farm director to the clinic. The bathroom is a small room with white walls and a red cross on the door. You can see inside through the glass window, but there are 2 cabinets neatly arranged, a hospital bed that can handle patients, plus a desk, and nothing else. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt desperate. It's like this. Is there anything I can use? She deeply suspected that there might not even be any sewing needles and threads here. How to save people? Make bricks without straw. Even if she is an experienced doctor, it does not mean that she can save people without medicine or tools. Besides, Song Moding's injury was not an ordinary injury. This is not about killing people. Why did she think that there might be a way to save Song Moding when her brain was caught in the door? It was simply making things difficult for her. Two people entered the house one after another. Zhang Xiaoxiao rummaged through the cabinet. She breathed a sigh of relief. It was a little better than she expected, probably because this is a forest farm, and workers often suffer from trauma. There are still many tools for dealing with trauma, such as needles and threads for suturing, including some tools for dealing with trauma. But medicines are very scarce. There are only some cold medicines, analgesics, and some red potions. There are basically no anti-inflammatory medicines, let alone infusion sets, which basically do not exist here. She understood very well that this was in 1976. In 1976, it was impossible for such a remote medical room to have more medical equipment. Clenched her teeth, she took out all the things she needed. In the current situation, we can only try our best to save Song Moding's life. The wind and snow outside are still very heavy, and now the snow is almost reaching his thighs. Thanks for not asking everyone to take Song Moding to the county hospital just now, otherwise they would probably be stranded on the road. At that time, life will really be in danger. It's not much better now. Song Moding's situation is very critical. The field director watched Zhang Xiaoxiao take those things and wondered if this girl could heal her injuries. Girl, do you know how to heal? Zhang Xiaoxiao nodded. My godfather and godmother are doctors, and I have learned a lot from them. In this situation, I can only think of ways to save people first. You can't expect too much from me, because there is no medicine at all. I can only hope that Song Moding's physical strength can withstand it. End of this chapter.